Do you think it is important to keep traditions alive?
I absolutely believe it's important to preserve traditions. They connect us to our history and cultural identity, giving a sense of belonging and continuity across generations. For example, celebrating festivals with family strengthens our social bonds and provides a meaningful link to our past.
Are there any traditions in your country that you think are dying out?
Unfortunately, some traditions are becoming less common, especially those tied to specific crafts or regional dialects. I've noticed that younger generations, influenced by globalization and modern technology, are less engaged with traditional folk songs and storytelling, which were once central to community gatherings.
What traditions did you have when you were a child?
Growing up, a significant family tradition was gathering every Sunday for a big meal at my grandmother's house. It was a time for sharing stories and laughter, and it really instilled a strong sense of family unity. We also had a special tradition of making handmade gifts for birthdays, which made each present feel incredibly personal.
How do you think traditions are passed down from generation to generation?
Traditions are primarily passed down through practice and storytelling. Older generations share their knowledge by involving children in customs like cooking traditional meals or performing specific rituals. These activities, combined with the oral histories and personal anecdotes that accompany them, are essential for keeping the traditions alive and meaningful.
Do you think traditions change over time?
Yes, traditions are not static. They definitely evolve over time. While the core values may remain, the way they are celebrated often adapts to fit modern life. For instance, many festivals now incorporate technology or social media to include family members who live far away, showing how traditions can be both preserved and updated. One of the most interesting and vibrant traditions in my country is Diwali, often referred to as the Festival of Lights. It's a truly spectacular celebration that brings communities together in a unique way. Diwali is an annual festival that typically falls in either October or November, depending on the lunar calendar. It's not a single day of celebration, but rather a 5-day extravaganza, with the main festivities usually occurring on the third day. The exact dates shift each year, but the atmosphere of anticipation and joy is always palpable as autumn approaches. During Diwali, people engage in a multitude of activities. Homes are meticulously cleaned and decorated with intricate rangoli patterns made from colored powders or flower petals at the entrance, symbolizing welcome and prosperity. Families light countless oil lamps, known as diyas, and electric lights, transforming every street and building into a dazzling display. There's a strong emphasis on family gatherings, where people exchange gifts, sweets, and savories. A significant part of the tradition involves worshiping various deities, particularly Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, and Ganesh, the remover of obstacles. Fireworks are also a huge part of the celebration, illuminating the night sky with bursts of color and sound, creating a truly festive atmosphere. Children especially look forward to this aspect. I find Diwali particularly interesting for several reasons. Firstly, its sheer visual splendor is captivating. The collective effort to light up entire cities is breathtaking and creates a magical ambience. Beyond the aesthetics, it's fascinating how the festival symbolizes the triumph of good over evil and light over darkness, which are universal themes that resonate deeply with everyone. Furthermore, the emphasis on community and family bonding is incredibly powerful. It's a time when differences are set aside and people come together to share joy and goodwill, reinforcing social connections. The blend of spiritual significance, cultural rituals, and widespread celebration makes Diwali a truly unique and deeply meaningful tradition in my country.
Why do you think some traditions are becoming less popular, especially among younger people?
I believe a significant factor is the rapid pace of globalization and technology. With information and cultures from all over the world being instantly accessible, younger generations are exposed to a broader range of ideas and lifestyles, which can make local, traditional customs seem outdated or less exciting. Furthermore, many traditions are time-consuming and can conflict with the demands of modern professional life and education. The younger generation often has to balance school, work, and social commitments, leaving less time for elaborate rituals. Therefore, the blend of global influence and the practical challenges of contemporary life contributes to the decline of certain traditions.
Do you think governments should play a role in protecting traditional customs and practices?
Yes, I do think governments have a role to play, particularly in preserving traditions that are integral to a nation's cultural heritage. They can support these customs through funding for cultural festivals, educational programs in schools, and the establishment of museums or heritage sites. By doing so, governments not only ensure these practices are not forgotten, but also promote a sense of national pride and identity. However, it's a delicate balance. Their role should be to support and encourage, not to enforce. Overly prescriptive government involvement might stifle the organic evolution of a tradition and risk turning it into a sterile, museum-piece spectacle rather than a living, breathing part of the culture.
What are the benefits of maintaining family traditions?
Family traditions are incredibly beneficial for fostering a strong sense of identity and belonging. They create a shared history and set of memories that bind family members together, reinforcing bonds that might otherwise be weakened by distance or busy schedules. For children, these traditions provide a stable and predictable framework, which is crucial for their emotional development and security. They learn about their ancestry and values through these customs. Furthermore, they are a fantastic way to teach important life skills and values, whether it's through the teamwork involved in cooking a traditional meal or the patience required to complete a craft project together.
How have traditions been affected by modern technology?
Modern technology has had a dual and somewhat paradoxical effect on traditions. On one hand, it has helped to preserve and disseminate them more widely. For example, video calls and social media allow families separated by vast distances to share in festival celebrations, keeping the spirit of the tradition alive despite physical separation. Technology also helps in documenting and archiving traditional knowledge that might otherwise be lost. However, on the other hand, it can also dilute the essence of some traditions. The focus might shift from genuine personal interaction to a more superficial, screen-based experience. The convenience of modern technology can sometimes override the depth of meaning that comes from physically participating in and committing to a traditional practice.
How are traditions different in urban areas compared to rural areas in your country?
In my country, there is a marked difference in how traditions are practiced between urban and rural areas. Rural communities often have a stronger connection to their traditions, as these customs are deeply intertwined with the agrarian calendar, local folklore, and tight-knit social structures. People in rural areas often have more time and space for communal celebrations. In contrast, urban areas, with their diverse and fast-paced populations, tend to have more fragmented traditions. While festivals are still celebrated, they might be adapted to fit a more individualistic lifestyle or a condensed schedule. The emphasis in cities is often more on the commercial and social aspects of a tradition, such as shopping and dining, rather than on the intricate community rituals that are still central to rural life.